Let's get it on.
All right, y'all, fly, Eagles, fly. The combine couldn't have gone any better if you root for them birds. I'm talking about QBs performing right at the combine, doing spectacular things that make prisoners of the moment panic and overreact. And that's exactly what you want if you hold the 10th pick like the birds do. Think about that. Now you have to think at least 4 QBs could go in the top 5, and maybe somebody else panics and pushes someone else. You just never know, right? You just want to get sound line of scrimmage players or players at premium positions with that 10th pick, and only 9 players going before then, and perhaps 4 of them quarterbacks. Listen, in no uncertain terms, man, if Jalen Carter somehow finds himself at the 10th pick, right? And I don't care about the shit that's going on with him right now. I'm not concerned about his character. If you actually look into what's going on with him, it amounts to reckless driving and racing. I did a little exercise on my way from Newark, Delaware, all the way to Wells Fargo Center in Philly on Saturday to watch the Villanova game, right? I was like, let's see how many people have character concerns driving down 90 to 100 miles per hour on I-95. I counted 11 people who had character concerns flat out, and then some people who had questionable concerns, because I was doing 75, and a lot of those stretches is like 65. So I had character concerns, and some of these cats was whizzing by me when I was getting up to like 80. They were doing 95, 100 easily. Character concerns, right? So not to make light of anything like that, but to me, that's not something intentional, right? Tragic occurrence, no doubt about that, man. My heart goes out to everyone involved in that. However, not something intentional, like having a gun involved in something, domestic violence, things of those sort, right? So if he's there at the 10th pick and you can pair that man back up with Jordan Davis, look at your man right here giving out that prison loving. Right? Look at this. Ooh, come on. Look at this man. Right? He made that man do the typewriter. He made that man do the MC Hammer drawing right there. Look at that. Grabbed him up by shirt lapel. He's two-gapping, right? So he's stringing him along horizontally and manning 2 gaps right here. You got Rodriguez right here. He wants to hit that gap. It does not matter. Your man sticks that foot in the ground. He discards the trash, right? Wall and discard, and then he's on it. Because that's that North Philly prison loving right there. Cats in North Philly know what I'm talking about. Once again, here you go. Watch this right here. Look at the physicality. Oh, my goodness. Come on. That wouldn't go hard next to Jordan Davis. Pause. You got my man just the want to get there, right? The will, and look, bang, collapses that man's spinal column. He's asleep. That's it right there. He's getting to your ball carrier no matter what. You gonna eat your cornbread? I don't think so. Look at my man right here working against the run. Sure could have loved that in the Super Bowl, but I don't want to talk about that no more. Matter of fact, I'm tired of talking about it. What? With Nakobe Dean behind them? That's otherworldly. He's exactly the type of interior presence, a guy who can play all up and down the guitar string and do his thing. You had Jordan Davis man in that shade and Sean Desai's scheme, right? Which could be more rooted in odd front principles coming out of a 3-4 than before. So having that shade like Jordan Davis and having a legit 5 technique type who can play that Fletcher Cox role, because, man, I hope Fletch comes back, but, man, it's not looking good, right? And if he's not back, Javon Hargrave isn't back, you got to have a Jalen Carter next to a Jordan Davis. That shit is incredible to even think about. And then beyond that, if we're talking about continuing on that particular theme right there, a lot of people coming up on the channel after Nolan Smith destroyed the combine with his 40-time and vertical leap. Listen, I'm pragmatic in my approach. If it's being done when there's no actual football being played, I take it with a grain of salt. You have to take it with a grain of salt because this is a sport. This is not the Olympics. This is a specialized skill sport. And I covered that man since he was a sophomore in high school. He played for my Big Bros 2019 True 19 program. And he was pretty much the star of that, right?
Sacked by Nolan from Georgia.
Athleticism, undersized, a cat who's only 6'2", I believe 238 pounds. If you talk about playing him at an edge, he would fit, no doubt, in a 3-4. Already have Hassan Reddick, who is the best in the business, in my opinion. Already have Josh Sweat. Is it a need? You got Brandon Graham, who probably won't be back, and I hate to say that or even think about him not being an Eagle, but, man, the reality set in the older you get. He could definitely fit there with that 31st pick. But I'm not going to sit up here and say that that man is all world because of a combine, because I watched that man and covered him. I covered Georgia the most. That's the primary cover of this particular this channel is the Georgia Bulldogs. Look at the playlist. I got endless amounts of material on Georgia the past 5 years that I've had this channel. He had 12.5 sacks. Someone said he had over 1,000 snaps, and they were trying to do the whole if he had more snaps, he would have more sacks kind of thing. But shit, he was in a rotation, no doubt about that. But there were guys in that same rotation that outperformed him, like an Adam Anderson. Adam Anderson was on his way before he got in trouble to perhaps 9 sacks like Azeez Ojulari had before he left for the NFL. He had 9.5 sacks in one season. Nolan Smith had 4.5 sacks, I believe, as his career high there. And he played 4 seasons. Most of those guys played 3 seasons and they're out. So imagine that. Now, he didn't get a chance to play all of this. He got hurt this particular season right here. But still, not some type of pass rush maven. He gets after the run game, no doubt about that. But how much more challenging would it be in the NFL when you have cats? You could have a Jason Peters type going against a Nolan Smith, and he'd be outweighed by almost damn near 100 pounds. Think about that. So, but I still would definitely want him on the team, but would it be my number one choice? No. Maybe you grab some more capital and you go and grab a B.J. Ojulari, who I think is more talented as a pass rusher, probably just as stout against the run or kind of, right, approaching that same kind of league. Maybe you go there. But if you want explosive athleticism, Nolan Smith is your guy. And maybe you bring him in some of those sub packages like you did Brandon Graham and let him get after it and see what he can do. But beyond that, man, I seen cats like my boy from Penn State, right, from my Nittany Lions, Odafe Oweh, Jason Oweh. He didn't have any sacks as a senior or his last year at Penn State, and you can really see that taking shape in the NFL where he's been struggling to get to the quarterback. Another freak, 4.36 in the 40 at like 6'5", 250 pounds or whatever it is. So you can't automatically assume that these guys are going to get it done in the NFL. So you got to put yourself in position to not fail. The running back position. Bijan Robinson. Everybody talking about him with that 31st pick. I can dig it. It's the 31st pick. I don't like first-round running backs. As you can see, Philly traditionally doesn't do that. Philly knows how to draft backs like a Miles Sanders and get him 1,200 yards, and he's playing like 50% of the snaps. Running backs, to me, is a cut-and-dry position, almost a damn dime a dozen, right? You can get a guy in the 3rd round, and we have been doing that since Howie Roseman has been there, and beyond that, before that with Joe Bannon and Andy Reid as the personnel guy. So I don't know, but if you did get that guy, it would be pretty dope. No doubt about that, man. But I'm not the one to be all happy about the cast because they're the most popular. I want the most efficient. I want the most value and bang for your buck. Got to double up on that defense. Too many guys being lost. Got to have some type of cornerback. Joey Porter Jr. I'm going to re-release my Joey Porter Jr. joint aimed at the Philadelphia Eagles and show you why he would fit in definitely in the Sean Desai defense if you couldn't get Christian Gonzalez at number 10. If Jalen Carter was there, a pick with Jalen Carter and Joey Porter Jr., that shit would be nuts. It would be nuts and bananas, baby. Nuts and cashews. That would be hard. The Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter joint would be hard. Bryan Bresee at a defensive tackle, right? He could play a 5 technique as well next to a Jordan Davis. And you got 2 guys who can absolutely get after it, punish people on the run, set things up for if you did have a Nolan Smith there, right? You eating more bodies up there. And then, of course, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat doing their thing as well there. So let me know some of the combinations you guys want to see out there and the positions that they should focus on the most if you are thinking like a GM, if you're thinking like Howie Roseman, right? Not if you're thinking like some fan that just saw the combine and you hyped up off numbers and shit like that. Football be damned. You're hyped up off the underwear Olympics. Let me know exactly how you would approach it, all right? We'll be back with more, though, but you should be excited if you're an Eagles fan, and that just happened over the weekend, all right? But we'll see. Free agency is going to be what really takes the cake right there, because what they don't get in free agency, it'll shape that draft, all right? But it's your boy, Mid-Atlantic Murph, doing my 1-2 thing. As always, salute to you guys. Make sure you tip your waiter, because you know I'll be bringing that hibachi.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.